Previously on Defying Gravity.
A contaminated batch of halos? Seriously?
I've never worn my halo, and I was hallucinating as bad as anyone.
We're in a strange environment. We're gonna have bad dreams.
Donnor's been having it too.
Is that your hallucination? Can you tell me where it's coming from?
Here. In this bay.
All I'm showing in Pod 4 is surplus.
Does it say who made the delivery?
According to the payload records, the Butchering Corporation.
A couple of us could have died yesterday, and we deserve to know why. What exactly is it that you do here?
I'm employed by the Bertram Corporation.
She's working you, Ted. I don't trust her, neither should you.
Dude, they've gone fractal.
My duty as commander of this ship is to protect the lives of my crew.
A big part of that is them knowing exactly what this mission is.
What exactly is the mission, Ted?
The answer's in the storage bay. It's in Pod 4.
You will not enter that storage bay. I am ordering you to stand down.
My parents played this song at their wedding.
It's really stupid.
It's just before they gave the rings away.
Unnecessary information.
My little cousin was the ring girl, and she puked on their shoes.
Really?
Yeah, it's a true story. Her name's Kirsten. Shh. No, you don't have anything.
Shut that off.
Put it up. It's probably just garbage. Or not. Frequency?
4.639 terahertz.
Yeah, check the interferometric position.
Right ascension, 23 hours, 39 minutes. Declination, minus 15 degrees, 41 minutes.
Oh, man. Check this.
Signal origin?
Mars?
It's linearly polarized.
It's focused where?
What the hell? There's another one. 5.327 terahertz. This one's coming from the ground.
East 20 degrees, 52 minutes, 30 seconds. South 24 degrees, 13 minutes, 38 seconds. What is that, South America?
It's Peru. Just outside Nazca. This one's polarized too.
The signals are linked?
22 hours, 38 minutes, 15 degrees, 48.373. Holy communicado.
Okay, we're gonna need a DOS autocorrelation on both signals. Mars is alpha, Peru is beta.
Scanning.
They're interchangeable.
Converse dissemination.
Dude, whatever that Mars signal is pointing to in Peru, it's answering back.
When I was a kid, I used to lie on my back, look up at the stars, and try to imagine just what was out there. Aliens or other worlds, maybe some kid with pointy ears looking up at the sky like me. And every once in a while, I would feel a chill run through me. A realization that I was just a tiny part of the whole, that it was all so much bigger than me, and that there were so many questions for which I didn't have answers, not even a clue.
craziest thing I've ever seen, and I've seen some crazy.
This is what's been causing our hallucinations.
Yeah.
Have you seen that before?
No. This is the farthest I've ever made it into this room. Had no idea it'd be so...
So beautiful. But singing. How is it singing? It's organic.
It looks like molten lava.
Definitely. Maybe alive.
Did you know about this?
I'm as surprised as you are.
Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you not cleared before, welcome to Beta. You are now all security level 12.
Is it radioactive?
It emits low-level gamma. Donnie, you might want to check the door monitor.
Look at the way it's moving. You see how shape is evolving, but it stays contained? It's maintaining that continuous movement by folding in on itself. You know what that is, my friends? That's self-similar fractal structure. It's fractal. It's a fractal. It's fractal.
Like my tomatoes.
Exactly.
There's more of them. There's 7 of these containers. Only one of them's full. Ted?
Where is that coming from?
I don't know. It's not in here.
Then where? Is it coming from Venus? Sound can't travel in space. How can we be hearing it?
Tomatoes don't grow in fractal patterns. This is new science. Listen. It's like they're talking to each other.
So there's another object down there?
And one on every single one of our landing sites. We're gonna be collecting these things, aren't we? When did she tell you?
The night you and I came up. 4 years together. I never had a clue.
All right, why didn't they tell us?
You know the party line. Security.
Is there more?
Well, if there is, I'm just as much in the dark about it as you are.
Antares, they're ready to start the briefing.
Roger that.
Today you are presenting our new mission to the world. It's your coming out party, your introduction to the press, and an opportunity for you to shine. But let me assure you, these guys are ruthless and judgmental. It's first impression time, people, and it's up to you to make a good one.
Think if we shine hard enough, they'll forget about Mars.
Give them the facts.
Sure worth a shot, baby.
6 years, 7 planets. This is a grand tour of the solar system. 8 billion miles to explore, sample, and analyze data. Make sure you cite your own individual areas of expertise and explain how that will be utilized on the mission.
Good luck explaining that, Was.
If the press likes you, so will the public.
Hypothetical nothingness. Like your chances for getting on the mission.
This is also when corporate sponsors start lining up to pick their ponies, so smile extra pretty. And good luck. You'll need it.
Nothing like a little pressure.
Donner.
Yeah.
Neither one of you guys are to speak to any of the press today. If you want to watch from above, that's fine, but I don't want you on the floor.
Wait, we're banned from the floor?
That's right.
We know more about this mission than any of these ass-cans.
Decision's final. Make yourself scarce. Okay, let him in.
know, this man is publicly handicapping us from being candidates on this mission.
Yeah, well, he's been doing that ever since we started. It doesn't even surprise me anymore.
Unbelievable.
As hard as it is to believe, it's not about the two of you. Look, you know these guys aren't going to let up on Mars. Given the chance, that is all they're going to ask you about.
All right, so give us a chance to set the record straight.
Let the new mission settle in, get them excited about it, then we bring you guys back in.
We want this mission to be successful more than anyone.
I know. And I also know that as far as candidates go, you two are among the strongest we've got. At least in my mind. Which is all you really need to worry about.
This has been a difficult and eventful day for all of you. We understand that.
We know you have many questions, and you deserve answers. That's why we intend to tell you everything known about the Beta object so far.
I've got a question.
Please, hold your questions.
15 years ago, the Hawk Creek Observatory, a study facility funded by the Bertrand Corporation, picked up a radio signal coming from Mars. It was directed toward the plains of Nazca in Peru. Almost immediately, a second signal was then detected, this time coming from Nazca. It became clear that something on those plains was answering back. I think it's only appropriate that the rest of the story comes from Eve, as it was her experience.
I haven't a clue.
Up till this point, you've all been misled about what my role is at ISO. I am here solely because of the object. When I turned 18, I joined the U.S. Crisis Corps. 2 years earlier, I had lost my entire family to Hurricane Ophelia. And I decided to devote my life to relief work and aiding other victims. And as you can imagine, there was plenty of opportunity. 4 years later, at 22, I found myself in Nazca supervising a relief effort. The region had been hit by a series of devastating mudslides and earthquakes. Some of you might have heard about it at the time. The damage was catastrophic. Villages disappeared. The Nazca lines were almost completely destroyed. There was tremendous loss at every level. Esta ración es para una semana. No es mucho, pero regresen el domingo para darles más.
Muchas gracias, señorita.
De nada, de nada. Tengo una casita para ustedes también. Para que jueguen los dos, ¿ya? Ya.
Que Dios la bendiga, señorita.
De nada, de nada. The relief efforts were exhausting, as they always were. But the high altitude took an extra toll on all of us. I had a particularly difficult time acclimating. I couldn't eat, but worse, I couldn't sleep. God, it's hard to breathe up here.
I swear I could sleep for an entire week.
I'll settle for a night. At first, I assumed it was the altitude. Then I started hearing this music. Only at night. Usually around 1 or 2 in the morning. Seemed to just float in on the wind.
Eve, you all right?
Do you hear that?
What?
The music, the violin.
I don't hear anything.
Oh, it sounds like it's coming from the plateau.
The plateau? There's nothing on the plateau but rocks and mud.
I know.
Well, maybe the villagers are doing some kind of anti-rain dance or something.
Right. The music wasn't random. In fact, I knew it well. It was a song from my childhood. This simple song I used to play on my violin when I was a kid. One I thought I'd composed myself. I truly thought I was going crazy. Night after night, I'd lie awake just listening to the sound, unable to fall asleep. I felt so alone. Completely and utterly alone. There was no one who'd truly understand. And I knew that the only thing for me to do was to find it. It didn't make any sense, but it didn't matter. I was compelled to follow it into the night. It took me up this mountainside onto the high desert plain. It's a huge area, over 70 square kilometers, and still, very still at night. And then the music, leading me like the Pied Piper. About 6 kilometers in, I stopped. There was nothing unusual about the location, no markers or lines. The intensity of the music was overwhelming. It seemed as if the ground beneath my feet was vibrating. So I started to dig. And that's when they came. That was my introduction to the Birchin Corporation.
Your name?
Eve Weller.
American.
I'm here with, I'm in Nazca with the U.S. Crisis Corps for the relief effort.
That camp's several miles from here.
I know. I walked it.
In the middle of the night.
Yes.
I'm sure you had a good reason.
None at all.
You understand this is a highly restricted area.
No, I had no idea.
And that the government of Peru has given us the authority to detain anyone who violates that space for as long as we deem necessary.
If you're trying to frighten me, it's working.
Just tell us what you were doing.
I was hearing music. I was trying to find it.
Out there in the middle of the night.
Yes.
Like a concert in the desert.
No. No, it wasn't like that at all. Okay. There was music coming from in the ground, under the dirt. So if I'm going crazy, I'm going crazy. Lock me up.
Show us where it's coming from. Can you still hear it?
Yes. It's getting louder. Part of me was terrified. Part of me was thrilled beyond belief. Because I knew something was about to happen. Something incredible was about to be revealed. Then the music from the ground stopped.
What is that?
I don't know. The object was glowing, floating. It was the most sublime thing I had ever seen. And when I laid eyes on it, I felt linked to it. And I knew instantly that we, the object and I, were in some way connected.
You will never say a word about this to anyone. Your lover, your family, no one can ever know. Tell me you understand that.
I understand.
Completely.
Completely.
Start walking back to camp, Eve Weller. And don't look back.
I didn't walk. I ran. And at dawn, I arrived back at camp. So, If any of you are like me, you'll probably have trouble sleeping for the next few weeks, trouble eating, and it's normal after experiencing something like this, something so profound. I didn't have anyone to talk to, but you do, so take advantage of that. But you must understand that, like me, this absolutely must be kept from your friends and family. This cannot, at this point in time, be let out into the world. Questions?
Can you tell us what happened to the object after it was uncovered?
Yes, it was taken to Nevada for examination and analysis, where it was determined to be organic, although composed of elements not found on our chart.
Can you issue the breakdown spectroscopy?
Yes, we can upload the spectra charts and reports.
Anything on its movement?
Its shape and movement is mathematically fractal. However, we have no idea how it levitates or why.
What about the empty containers in Pod 4?
The Beta object, the second object of discovery, was unearthed in Peru. We believe the Alpha object is on Mars, the source of the original radio signal.
That's 2 out of 7.
5 other focused signals have communicated with the Beta object over the years. The Gamma object is on Venus, Delta on Mercury, Epsilon on Europa, Zeta on the rings of Saturn, and Eta on the surface of Pluto.
And I'm gonna hazard a guess that it's gonna be our job to go pick these things up?
Yes. That is the primary goal of the Antares mission.
Mind if I ask another obvious question?
What's that, Barnes?
What do we do with these objects after we collect them?
Well, that's the leap of faith here. Either the objects are going to tell us, or we'll have to figure it out.
Why didn't you tell me?
Believe me, I wanted to. I hated lying to you. It was killing me. And I hated leaving you alone up there.
That's what you were trying to tell me when you left.
Yeah.
You know, I wanted to go back with you.
You couldn't, Jen. It chose you.
And what about you and AJ and your heart plaque?
For some reason, they wanted Donna and Ted.
I don't feel chosen.
You are. Trust me. You're the biologist on this mission. This could be your legacy, Jen. I mean, you have always talked about finding life somewhere else. Well, this is it.
Did you ever see it?
Yeah. Yeah, a couple times.
What did it look like to you?
It looked like what it looks like.
Did it ever communicate with you?
No. No, it didn't. I guess it wasn't enough time.
I guess.
Hey, I'm here for you.
No, you're not, Raleigh. You're 38 million kilometers away.
And what do you think of your chances to make the crew?
I think they're strong. Of course, I leave that up to my Lord and Savior.
Sounds like an oxymoron, a praying scientist.
But the more I learn about the intricacies of our universe, the greater my faith becomes.
As a geologist, I'm excited by the opportunity to find a tangible link between us and our neighboring planets.
Well, I'm a theoretical physicist, so I'll just be along for the ride, I guess.
To explore how far a man can push himself, physically, mentally.
Discovering alien life forms has always been a personal dream of mine.
Probably not a good idea to spend too much time in here. Ted says it throws off radiation.
What do you think it wants from us?
No idea.
You know, Eve was talking about being connected to it. I kept thinking about the dream, our
dream.
Yeah.
Yeah. You think that's where this is gonna lead?
That'd be messed up.
There has to be some sort of plan here. Doesn't there, Donner, some reason for all of this? There has to be.
Enough! It's driving me crazy.
It's fractal. Fractal object. Fractal tomato, fractal music. This could be the language of the universe.
It's not what I came up here to do. They should have told us.
Yeah, but think about it. What if this had leaked before we left? Do you think the world's ready for alien objects that screw with your head and sing? For spending 10 trillion tax dollars on an intergalactic scavenger hunt?
This isn't intergalactic.
And it is an alien.
Well, whatever it is, if it leaked out, we're talking stock market crashes, people jumping off of bridges. This could lead to disaster.
Only for those who don't believe. The Lord shall roar from on high and utter his voice from his holy habitation.
What's that, Paula?
Jeremiah 25:30. The trumpet blast of the Lord. It's the coming of the rapture. Don't you see? It's what this is. It's what it has to be.
Is that what your little black book tells you?
Those that hear the Lord's trumpet will be saved. And those that don't will be damned.
If it's your Lord, will you please tell him to shut up?
There's much written about Vimana, flying machines from ancient times that were said to fly from Borneo to what is now Peru, to Nazca.
You serious?
There's actually a translation of the Vedas that speaks of jumping into space speedily with the craft, using fire and water.
So, you think this is a good thing?
You don't?
You don't even know what they're going to do with them.
Sometimes it's about the journey. I've always believed that despite what we might have wanted, we are on our destined path, Sanya. And this is what we are supposed to do.
And you're both engineers, yes?
And thrilled to be here. Space is in our blood.
That's all well and good, and it sounds like a terrific adventure. But can't robots be designed to do the same job with less risk and for less money?
It's man's destiny to reach out to the universe.
Regardless of cost?
It is an obligation.
Despite the recent failure on Mars?
It is an obligation.
Mars primary landing site.
AJ, you there?
This has been quite a day, Maddox.
Yeah, well, it's still going.
We're gonna need each other more than ever, AJ.
Yes, I believe that as well.
So listen.
I'm up here on the flight deck. I'm trying to make sense of this new mission. Do we have new landing sites?
Because I'm looking at Mars, and
they probably haven't uploaded the new sites yet.
Can you check on that?
Roger that.
how's everybody taking it down there?
Sometimes new paths require a change in step. But we'll adjust.
Yeah.
Is there more?
What do you mean?
Is there more that you're hiding from us, Eve? And do you know what these things want from us? Or maybe you have another husband?
Ted.
Family in Italy or something?
No.
I feel like I barely know you.
No, listen, you have to believe me. There's nothing. Okay? I'm done hiding things. All I want to do now is help.
Well, you know, we're all really confused about this idea of being chosen. And maybe you can tell the crew how you dealt with it.
Sorry. Excuse me. When they took the object away, I thought that was the end of it, you know, that my connection to it would fade. Nothing was further from the truth.
Eve, are you okay?
In a way, it was worse. You know, I was weak, sick. I felt like a piece of me was missing. You know, something had been torn away.
I'll borrow you some soup. Eve, you have to eat something. You're hurting yourself.
No, but I didn't care. All I felt was this pain and this consuming loneliness.
The violin music that the object made you hear, would you call it a hallucination?
Yes, yes, like you all were experiencing. It seems to communicate that way.
We know it was personal to you since it was from your childhood, but do you have a deeper association of guilt involved with it? The reason I ask is that my hallucinations were deeply rooted in personal guilt.
I started playing the song, just this simple melody, when I was about 4 years old on my father's violin. I was told I made it up, but I don't actually remember composing it. My father was a pickup musician in New Orleans, so we had beat-up instruments all over the house. And I was particularly drawn to the violin. When I picked it up and started playing it, my father declared me a child prodigy. He started giving me lessons. By 6, I was playing Bach, and at 9, I auditioned for Juilliard. They gave me a full scholarship, and that fall, I left for New York.
You know about any of this?
Just bits and pieces.
It was a lonely way to grow up. You know, I'd see my family on holidays and a week or two in the summer, but the violin was my life. And every time I picked it up, I felt compelled to play my little song. When I was 16, I was invited to Lincoln Center to play with the Philharmonic. And my family was trying to make it up to see me when Hurricane Ophelia hit. The Algiers levee broke and they all drowned. So, was there guilt involved, Dr. Mintz?
I would say a great deal.
Which is why I put the violin down for good. And why I tried to get that stupid song out of my head. And why I was so deeply disturbed when the object tried to serenade me with it. It knows of my guilt, Dr. Mintz. It knows. And it probably knows all of yours.
I haven't even had a hallucination yet. Oh, that's freaking me out.
Look, nobody has to tell me what their hallucinations were, but I would like to know if they were guilt-related. Donner?
Yeah.
Yeah, mine too.
I guess mine.
I haven't had one.
All my sins are forgiven. I have no guilt.
You gonna let that slide?
For now. But if that's a common link, it could be key in helping us understand what it wants us to do.
Well, I've been waiting 13 years to have that question answered. Ever since they came to get me.
The object seems to be dying, to be shutting down. Some of our people think it may have something to do with its separation from you. We need you to come back with us.
You guys, whether we like it or not, we are all connected. To each other and to the object. There's no getting away from it. There's no escape.
So I guess we're all drafted.
But there's no easy way home, is there?
Drafted into what? No one knows anything. This isn't a mission. It's a fairy tale.
And what's it going to do to the science?
This is science.
Deep science.
So are we just supposed to give up all of the work we were planning on doing?
Nobody said that, Jen.
Goss said that the objects were the primary.
Well, of course they are.
Yeah, and that's great. You know, that's exciting. We've all been chosen, whatever the hell that means. But I came up here with some goals.
And no one's saying you have to give them up.
All right, then fine. You know what? Till someone tells me otherwise, I have work to do.
Give her some space.
Yeah.
What?
it's too nice a day to be wearing the weight of the world, isn't it? Must be having some serious problems in there to lock the press out.
We had a solar flare drill. There were a few glitches. We're working them out.
And that's about where the press release ended.
That's all you're going to get from me.
You know, this flight of Antares, it's a big-ticket item. There's a great deal of public funding in this project. Tax dollars that could have gone elsewhere. Social programs have suffered, infrastructure, relief and aid to many countries has been shut down. And all for some grand tour of the solar system. Now, I don't know about you, but I think that because of their investment and sacrifice, the public has a right to be kept informed. Don't you? We're not the enemy, Arnell.
It's the process thing. I mean, you get hit with big news, it takes time to settle in.
Yeah. Just would have expected her to handle it differently.
I mean, I remember the first time I heard about sex. 3rd grade. Jimmy Novak told me over lunch, and I was like, no way, he puts his what in her how now? But after a bit, I accepted it. Can't eat bologna sandwiches anymore, though, no way.
You're so disgusting.
Do we have an update on the landing sites yet?
I've been informed that the LS coordinates will be uplinked on a planet-by-planet basis.
So permission not granted, that's a shocker.
There's no reason given.
Well, you can be damn sure there is a reason.
Perhaps it's to keep your attention on Venus, Donner.
I think that might be exactly it. Out.
Yeah, so, look, you see the slush hydrogen?
Why, after all of this revelation, would they be withholding the landing site coordinates for the other objects?
Eve said they're not holding anything else back now.
Well, then I think the two of you need to have another talk.
Why bother? You can probably retrieve them on your own. When you had your GNC glitch on the Venus lander, it kept switching to the terrestrial landing site.
So?
That's the LS they've given us to pick up the Venus object. Programmers are lazy. I'll bet the tertiary site on all of the landers is for the object.
She's not only beautiful, she's a genius.
And why do you need them now?
Because I got a real ugly feeling in the pit of my stomach. And it just got worse. 14.6 south, 135.7 east.
Gusev Crater.
We're going back, Ted. We're going back to the old base on Mars. All these years we've been telling ourselves that these two missions have nothing to do with each other. This is history repeating itself. We were there to pick up the Alpha object.
Donner, this doesn't track. Bertrand had nothing to do with the last mission.
How do we know that?
Eve didn't join ISO until years later.
How do we know that? She lied to everybody about Beta, including you.
Okay, so why didn't they tell us since we were on Mars?
They don't have to tell us. We're the driver and the repairman. Goss knew. Walker knew. Sharon knew. That's what they were doing. That's what they were doing when the rover broke down.
So you've both been lied to by your women. It doesn't change anything.
We don't know that. We don't know what we could have done.
And that's why I've been seeing the Martian storm.
What? What, your hallucination? I've been seeing Sharon and Walker.
If the objects are keying on our guilt or shame, then you have to pursue it. It won't be easy. Get them talking about it. Open them up.
Become their father confessor.
I guess, in Paula's terms. Maybe we're supposed to embrace our weakness in order to overcome it.
Mints. Science lab. Apparently Jen's lost it.
Well, that ought to keep us in catch-up for a while.
Oh, she cut him down. The fractals, man, she cut him down.
Why, Jen? They're tomato plants. Do you have any idea how much of our water supply they were sucking up?
Poets will tell you that science diminishes the beauty of the stars by reducing them to superheated balls of gas.
What are these?
Our new credentials. We're level 12 now.
But I don't think there's a scientist alive who isn't awed by the heavens. We're all just kids lying on our backs on the lawn, looking up at the sky, wondering where we fit in. We don't seek answers to diminish nature. We seek answers to discover who we are. And if our search takes us to unfamiliar or frightening places, we trust that nature will help us find a way out.
You okay? I'm fine. Just processing. Do you feel connected to it, Zoe?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. It's beautiful, isn't it?
Amazing.
Defying Gravity's back next Saturday with a double bill from 11:25. And there's more brand new drama tomorrow night with the second part of Small Island at 9. Next tonight, though, laughs aplenty with Live at the Apollo.